Hello and welcome back to Dragon Quest Walk Tutorials. I'm Koitsukizi, and in this video we're going to go over the new Hokora Ruler, so that is going to be Expo Kandata. So in my previous video I did go over details about that particular this particular Hokora Ruler. So I'm going to be using the main attributes for this particular battle, which are going to be Dane, Jibadia, and also Hado. So for this particular team here, I'm going to have my standard healer, which is going to be a high priest equipped with the mysterious crystal. So going to be using this for mainly healing, could possibly be buffing, but probably if not buffing, could possibly also be debuffing with Unlucky Taro. So we'll see what happens with this particular battle. Then over here I'm going to have a demon equipped with the Morning Kagura. So this particular weapon will do Jibadia or EO based damage. So here going to be using it for Jibadia. So his main ability actually does do some very good damage, especially if this character is going to be buffed up. So we'll see what happens with this battle. Then over here I'm going to have a ninja equipped with the winged axe of the divine bird. So this should actually work out quite well in terms of dealing damage to the enemies, possibly getting shadow weaves, and also lowering tension levels of the enemies. So this should work out well. Not only that, I'm also going to be using a debuff on the characters. That's actually going to be playing a very important role for this battle as well. Then over here I'm going to have a demon equipped with the sword, the great the Metal King Greatsword. So here going to be using it for Shadow base damage. So with that said, if you want to know more about this team, you can look down to the video description down below. But now I actually want to go over the details of this particular Hokora Ruler. So going to be found right over here. So the first thing that I want to go over is going to be the conditions for this particular Hokora Ruler. So the conditions are going to be you can't use any items and you can only use one support skill. So I have to be very careful about what support skill that I use. So with this Hokora is going to have two enemies. So the first one is going to be Expo Kandata, which is going to be a villain type character, has around 261,000 HP, 2 to 3 actions per turn, weaknesses Hado, Dane, Jibadia, and Zaba. After that, its ability is going to have a Suko no Ichigeki, which is a critical blow, which does around 1,100 damage to one character. Going to have Culture Muso, which is unparalleled culture, that does around 230 physical damage to all characters. That is if he does not buffed up with Stemi. Then going to have an ability called Nakama Yobi, which is called Ally, which summons one Kandata henchman to the battle. After that, it's going to have a ability called Chishiki o Wake Etaita, which is imparted knowledge. This increases the spell power of all allies by 1 rank. It's also going to have a Stemi, which raises attack power by 2 ranks, but also lowers weapon and physical technique resistance by 2 ranks. And going to have a regular attack that does around 450 damage to one character. After that, we're going to have the Kandata henchmen. They're going to be inanimate type enemies, have around 140,000 HP, 1 action per turn. Weaknesses, pretty much Hado, Dane, Jibadia, Zaba. After that, in terms of abilities, it's going to have Bashirura. So Bashirura blows one character away from the battle for 1 to 2 turns. Going to have Arari Homa, which casts sleep on all characters. Going to have a Merizoma, which does around 450 Merit spell damage to one character. Going to have a Mera Storm, which does around 300 Mera spell damage to all characters. Going to have Mahiado, which does around 300 Hado spell damage to all characters. And going to have regular attacks that do about 200 damage to one character. So notes for this particular battle, you want to use attacks that deal damage to all enemies. You want to use Mahoton to silence the enemies, since the henchmen are going to be using a lot of spells. Of course, you want to equip gear that increases damage and resistance to villain type enemies. So with that said, I want to go ahead into this battle, so here we go. Okay, so here we go with this battle. So first it's going to be, let's see, possibly Kandata first. Nope, going to be my ninja. So with my ninja, what I'm going to do is I want to use Mahotone to silence the henchman. We'll see what happens here. So it got one henchman but didn't get the other. So that actually is good because the henchman that was silenced uses Bashirura. So I should be safe. So what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to use Lucky Taro on this particular demon. So, okay, if this demon can go next, that would be great. And yes, so here, going to go ahead and attack, hopefully going to see some very good damage. So, some very nice damage. Okay, so with that there, so pretty much Kandata is 10,000 or over 100,000 damage taken. Okay, so let's see how much damage I can do here. So it looks like it's going to be some pretty good one. So, again, some nice damage again against Kandata. So now using Stemi, which is not the best thing for Kandata to do. But there you see, okay. But there you saw Kandata use Stemi, have 3 turns. But I believe I should actually, even though Kandata is, or my healer is actually gone, I should be able to finish this battle. So I have 1 henchman taken out, and probably both enemies here going to be taken out as well, or Kandata at least. And then here, the final henchman taken out. Okay. So this Hokora is worth 33,900 XP. And the Expo Kandata is going to be a blue soul, and here I got an A. Okay, so that was my battle against the Expo Kandata level 60 special class Hokora. So that actually didn't go quite the way that I was hoping, but actually the team that I have here actually did work out quite well. So my demon equipped with Morning Kagura was just the main damage dealer for this particular battle. So definitely my strategy there actually worked out quite well. So pretty much 3 hits with that particular weapon actually took him out, plus the attacks from the other 2 characters. So Kandata did take out my healer in the middle of the battle, but I was at a point where I actually was still in a good place in order to finish off the battle, which I was, and was able to complete everything there. So in terms of using Mahotone did actually work on the henchman onto the right. So that was actually quite important because that henchman actually uses Bashirura, which can banish or blow me away from the battle. So that actually did work out quite well. And then the last demon that actually did work out okay in terms of doing damage to the enemies. So that's going to be this particular Hokora. So what I want to do now is actually go over the S grade soul of this particular enemy. So again, going to be a blue soul, S grade, and going to be found right here. So here, one thing about this particular soul is low cost, so it's not going to be for higher level characters, going to be for lower level characters. But here, the Expo Kandata Soul S grade, in terms of the basic stats, again for blue souls, your max HP strength your agility and also your dexterity are going to be the stats you want to look at. So in terms of this particular soul, the strength is actually not bad for this soul cost, and the dexterity as well, 103, so that's actually not so bad. In terms of abilities, you're going to have plus 5% to your weapon skill damage, plus 7% to shadow and weapon physical technique damage, plus 7% to Jibaya weapon and physical technique damage, and then plus you recover 2 HP at the end of the battle. So again, this is going to be geared toward more lower level characters, but still probably useful to have, especially if you're going to have Journeys of Awakening that require certain types of soul costs. So here, going to actually lock this in. So with that said, I'm going to end this video here. So what I want to do next is, if I actually do get the new weapon, I will do a weapon breakdown of it. But if I do not get the weapon, I still want to try to find the new Weather Hokora and actually challenge it. So please stay tuned for that. But with that said, I'm going to end this video here. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you would like to see more, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.